We'd like to welcome you to the first annual Litter Quitter Member Business Summit. We appreciate you all being here today. So we're going to get started out with some of our presentations for the day. We'd love to thank our sponsors. We have Eco Products, the Hode Group, Inc., Durable Packaging International, Edward Don & Company, Leafware, and then also DoubleTree for hosting this event. We also would want to thank our partners. Keep Brevard Beautiful is a partner on this program, as well as the Surfrider Foundation and Brevard Zoo, and also all of you for being here, our wonderful member businesses. So we're going to start out with a presentation kind of on the Litter Quitter program, the basics of the program, some of the new things that are going on with it, and the direction we'd like to go for the future. So. First, a little background on why we're doing this. So as Keep Brevard Beautiful, some of our focuses are preserving natural resources and their benefits. Some of the reasons we want to do that are because it's so important for protecting our jobs and building a sustainable economy here in Brevard County, as well as for our health, our safety, and our quality of life as citizens of this area. So litter is a big focus for us. This is a pretty common scene. When someone just leaves one thing on the beach, it may not seem like a big deal. But when everyone does it, we start to get really big problems. So this is actually a beach along the Indian River Lagoon. Does anyone notice any kind of trends with the sorts of products that we're finding? We're seeing lots of bottles, we're seeing lots of styrofoam cups, things like that, mostly plastic products, and a lot of it is to-go food service items. So the reason why we see a lot of plastics is because they're both prolific. In our society, we use them for almost everything, and plastics are also incredibly resilient. They don't really break down naturally in our ecosystems. They're a product that we created. The decomposer organisms can't really eat them and break them down like they would a natural product. So when plastics get out into our ecosystems, they're going to persist there forever and cause problems for us. So this is something that we try to address. So the ocean is a pretty good example of what these products do when they get into our ecosystems. So there's a couple different ways that they impact wildlife. One is by actually being ingested by wildlife. So you can see in the slide up here in the top left-hand corner, that is actually all little pieces of plastic that have been ingested, I believe it was by a sea turtle. Seabirds are also really impacted by this issue. I think it's by 2050 they're anticipating that about 95% of individuals and 99% of seabird species are going to have plastic in their gut contents. So the big issue with that not only is that it's not food, right? But they actually can't, if it's bigger pieces, they can't pass it, which prevents them from eating real food, and eventually they get malnourished and will die. So we see that happening all throughout our oceans and ecosystems. Sea turtles are another common species that ingests a lot of plastics. You can see that picture in the bottom left, plastic bags, for instance, look exactly like jellyfish, which is a natural food source for turtles. So these are not products that we want in our ecosystems, but when they end up as litter, that's exactly where they go. Actually, we talked about how plastics can't break down naturally. The one thing they will do is, by sun and natural elements, just break down into smaller and smaller pieces, to the point where we now have pieces of plastic in our oceans so small that they're actually being consumed by zooplankton. And if you think about that, zooplankton are at the bottom of the food chain. Everything eats zooplankton, including the fish that we eat. So it kind of all comes back to us. The other big issue that we have with wildlife is entanglement. So marine mammals, for instance, are very curious about things in their surroundings, so they'll go investigate them, they get entangled in it, and again, plastic doesn't break down, so that's going to constrict the growth of that animal over time as well as their movement, so that's another issue that we have. And again, with things eating plastics, the other issue that we have is that there's chemicals in plastics that are not good for us, right? So they have hormone imitators in them, endocrine disruptors, so those are going to create all sorts of issues when they get into our food chain. And then the other thing that happens is plastics in our ocean will actually absorb any other chemicals that are in the water and again concentrate those up the food chain. So not something we want happening in our oceans. So again, you don't have to be a tree hugger to care about this issue either. It's not just our ecosystems that are impacted. Here in Brevard County, we're a tourism-based economy. So all of this comes back to our pocketbooks too. So tourism is a $3 billion a year industry in this area. It's something that a lot of our jobs depend on. And the bottom line is, beaches are one of the top tourist destinations in the United States, but a big part of how tourists choose what beaches they're going to go to is based on cleanliness. So if our beaches are not clean, people are not going to come here and our economy is going to suffer. So it's something that we all need to be concerned about from a business perspective too. And then also just as people that live here, no one wants to surf that wave, right? That's not fun. No one wants to sit on that beach with plastic, also not fun. So we kind of lose out on that in our enjoyment of this area, and then also our real estate values are impacted by litter. It kind of degrades the overall value of the community. So we've kind of talked about the issues with plastics, but let's talk about the scale of this issue, specifically here in Brevard County. So Keep Brevard Beautiful, this is actually a number from 2014, but it's kind of typical, collected 37,000 tons of litter in 2014. That's just what was removed, and just by Keep Brevard Beautiful. So that really speaks to the scale of the problem overall. So to kind of put that into a little bit more understandable perspective, if you were to put that litter into garbage trucks, the typical ones that come by your communities, that would be 10.5 miles worth of garbage trucks. So that would cover the 192 causeway 5 times, just the amount of litter that was removed in 2014. So there's a lot of this stuff out there, and again, we talked about a lot of it is plastics. That's a big problem. So we also work with the Ocean Conservancy every year. Typically this cleanup happens on September 16th, but it's called Coastal Cleanup. So we actually have our volunteers catalog every single piece of item, or every single item of litter that they pick up, so that we know what types of products are out there and what types are causing the biggest problems. And then they compile these statistics worldwide. So these are some of the most common types of litter worldwide. You'll see cigarette butts are actually the #1 most commonly littered item. We see that holding true here for Brevard County too. But if you combine all the different types of plastic products together, that's the single biggest issue really. And again, you can kind of look at these types of products that we have. We have straws, we have plastic lids, we have foam to-go containers. A lot of these products are to-go food products. About 49% of litter in a lot of cities comes from to-go food service items. So if we want to tackle this problem, that's a great place to start. So that's why we got together with our partners, again, Brevard Zoo and Surfrider Foundation, to found the Litter Quitter program. So this is actually a program that was developed by volunteers, and it runs entirely on volunteers. So you can see these ladies in the top right-hand corner, they have brochures. So our volunteers go out to local businesses with these brochures, kind of educate people on the problems with plastics and how they can be a part of the solution. So they've recruited, so far I think 38 member businesses now through this program over the past 2 years. And all of these member businesses have sustainability initiatives in place that reduce their use of single-use plastics. So we're trying to get people to switch to plant fiber-based alternatives that can break down in the environment if they end up there, and then also to reusing stuff to kind of reduce waste. So we'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of this program. So these are our member businesses. We have listings for all of them on our website, so we definitely encourage you to check that out. So just to name some of them, we have IAP, we have Long Point Cafe, we have Sandy Beach Surfing, we have Sebastian Inlet Surf and Sport, Rusty's Seafood and Oyster Bar, we have Satellite Beach Sustainability Board, Cafe Surfinista, Robberitos, Clean Surf, Pizza Gallery and Grill, Nobo, On the Edge Rock Climbing Gym, Paradolia Brewing Company, Wildside Tours, Standard Collective, The Nomad Cafe, Long Doggers, Sunseed, Brevard Zoo, Sugar Shack Donuts and Coffee, Brevard Achievement Center, The Courtyard at Marriott, Mustard's Last Stand, Islands Fish Grill, Playa Linda Brewing Company, Days Inn, Village Cycle Shop, The Green Room Cafe, Best Western, and Hampton Inn. So these are all businesses that have sustainability initiatives in place to benefit the community, and they were all recruited by volunteers, and we have some of them here today. So we appreciate all of them doing what they do for the community. So again, we have listings for all of these businesses on our website. There's actually an interactive map feature, which is really cool. You can zoom in over your area and find businesses near you. They're also broken down by category, so whether you want to go to a restaurant or a retail institution or an activity like rock climbing, you can find our sustainability members on there. And then these are some of the initiatives that they have in place, really cool stuff. So we have a lot of folks who have plant fiber-based to-go boxes, bags, utensils, shipping and packaging products for the retailers. They have incentives for bringing your own to-go container, again, to reduce waste. So we have some businesses that will actually give you a discount on your next meal if you bring in your own to-go container, which is a really cool initiative. A lot of them are switching to e-receipts instead of the paper receipts, because the receipt papers are actually, in most cases, not recyclable, which is kind of a bummer. A lot of them have recycling programs in place. They have special napkin dispensers that reduce napkin waste. They have recycled content products, trying to use products that have been made from recycled things. Composting is big with a lot of our member businesses, upcycling, and some of them have actually, the ones that are along the waterfront, have special deck netting to prevent plastics from blowing into the water. So lots of really cool, really forward-thinking initiatives from these businesses that we're really proud to support. So, because these businesses have made a big investment in sustainability for the benefit of our community, we want to give something back to them. So that's why this program really markets them. We provide marketing benefits to help make it a good investment for them. So us and then also our partners, we provide social media marketing. So each business gets a listing. There's also, again, that interactive map on our website. So there's listings on there that show their logo, some pictures of the business, and then their different initiatives. So you can actually check out a business and see what they have in place. And then we also try and get the media coverage. Florida Today did a nice article on the program a little while back that got them a lot of exposure, so that was cool. We also really promote these businesses out in the community to try and increase their profile and visibility. So one of the big things is window stickers. So if you guys see in that picture on the right, that is our window sticker that each of our member businesses get. So they put that in their front window, and it kind of allows people to see that they're a part of the program and to choose to support that business. We also do a lot of public education presentations. There's always a slide like what I showed you guys that has all of our member businesses on there. We talk about all the cool things that they're doing. And same thing when we table. We actually have some of our tabling stuff out here today, and you can see we have listings for each of our member businesses there too. So trying to get people educated on all the cool things they're doing. So we're also rolling out some new benefits that some of our current members may not have heard of before. So one of the biggest ones that we want to promote is we have partnered with distribution companies to be able to offer discounted group pricing on sustainable products, again, to try and bring that price point down, because oftentimes to do the right thing and use sustainable products does cost more. So we're trying to kind of offset that both with the marketing benefits and with the discounts that some of our partners are able to provide. So we have them here today. Be sure to talk to them, take sample products, and find out about what they can offer for you guys. We also, what we're doing here today is a new benefit for you guys. We're going to try and do annual summits every year where we present some educational information, kind of get you guys talking to each other, sharing your ideas, sharing your initiatives, so that we can kind of all move forward together as a community. So we'll be doing these summits on a yearly basis. And then another thing that we'd like to start doing is annual days of support for each business, where we kind of highlight you and drive people to your business. So that's another thing we'll be talking to you about. So for those of you that are not currently a part of this program and are looking for ways to get involved, there's a bunch of different opportunities. So to become a member business, you can either fill out the form that a volunteer will bring you, or you can actually go to our website, keepbrevardbeautiful.org, click on the Litter Quitter program, and there's actually an online version of the survey that you can do as well. It's a checklist, so you go down and look at any of the sustainability initiatives that apply to you. If you have at least one sustainability initiative in place, you are qualified for the program. So start small, we show you how being sustainable can work for you, and then we go from there. So that's all it takes to get qualified. To become a volunteer, there are training resources available on our website. We also do in-person trainings. And we have some brochures at the back table if anyone would like to take those today. The brochures help you to recruit the businesses. So it has all the information on the program and the benefits and all that good stuff. So you kind of go out to local businesses and try and get them involved with this program. There is also a newsletter and Facebook that people can get involved with to kind of stay updated on the program. And we're also always looking for partners. So there's a bunch of different ways to partner on this program. You can either provide volunteers, you can provide incentives, or funding also for the marketing elements of this program. So again, we want to thank you all, both our volunteers, our partners, and our Litter Quitter member businesses. If you need to get in touch with us, the website is a great way. We also have contact information here. And how are we doing on time? Okay. Do we have any questions on the program, first of all, or new elements of the program? Yes.
My question is, what have you found to be the most effective incentive or incentives to get businesses to come on board with this program?
So one of the easy things that we encourage our volunteers to start with is an ask first straw policy. So a lot of times when you go out to eat, a restaurant will bring you a cup with a straw already in it, right? So you don't have a choice to say, actually, I didn't want a straw. So a lot of times if a business will ask you first, at least half the people will say, actually, I don't really need it, especially if you pitch it to them the right way. Do you really need a straw? Or if you explain, hey, here's the impact of straws. And then that saves the business money. So there's some initiatives like that that are a win-win. They actually reduce cost too. And those are the ones we try and lead with. Those are really good examples. And we have actually some of our member businesses here today who have those sorts of policies in place. So we'll talk about those later.